The others cannot be said to possess remarkable abilities. They can merely be classified as diligent workers. However, in this era, success does not necessarily hinge on individual prowess. There's a saying, when standing on the windward side, even pigs can soar. Moreover, the substantial backing of the boss provides a formidable support. After a hearty meal, the conversation turned to serious matters. During the seed round, Chinhu Investment acquired a 50 stake in Diandan Takeout for 500,000. This time, under Chen Zhao's guidance. Wang Lan proactively proposed an additional investment of 5 million in the angel round for a 20 stake in Diandan Takeout. After some deliberation, they acknowledged that although Diandan Takeout is currently valued at 10 million, it remains a campus enterprise, and its future development is uncertain. A 500,000 investment for a 20 stake is considered quite fair by any investment firm. Chen Xiao had no objections, and naturally, neither did the others. Consequently, Chinhu Investment now holds a 70 stake in Diandan Takeout, while Chen Xiao and his 4 companions retain the remaining 30. Chen Xiao and Wu Ling each hold 10. Liu Xin holds 5, Shen Jianchang holds 3, and Changguo holds 2. Although their shareholding has diminished, their worth has increased significantly. The initial investment of 10,000 from Wu Ling is now valued at 1 million in shares. Chang Ji's initial 2,000 investment is now worth 200,000. In such a short span, their value has skyrocketed 100-fold. After finalizing the agreement, Wang Lan prepared to take her leave, with a specific contract to be signed the following day at Diandan Takeout's office by Chinhu Investment. Wu Ling and the others were naturally elated. Achieving such success before even leaving campus foretells an immeasurable future. Liu Xin nudged Chen Zhao's arm. Xiaozi, shouldn't we arrange something for President Wang? Chen Xiao paused. Arrange what? Singing? No, I mean the novels and dramas. After signing contracts, they usually head to clubs, right? Find a few handsome young men to entertain the investors. Chen Xiao was speechless. Then why don't you arrange it? Liu Xin replied, I don't know how. Chen Xiao stated, today's agreement is merely verbal. If you neglect the investors, they might vanish by tomorrow morning. Do you believe that we be able to pay next month as salaries? Liu Xin exclaimed. No way, really? Absolutely. So hurry up. Liu Xin, whose worth had just reached 500,000, cherished it deeply. Upon hearing this, he could only brace himself and go. Chen Xiao watched his retreating figure, amused, anticipating the unfolding drama. Sure enough, in less than 5 minutes, Liu Xin returned, covering his face. Xiao Ge, this is bad. President Wang isn't angry, is she? What if the investment falls through? Chen Xiao couldn't help but chuckle at the 5 finger marks on Liu Xin's face. Just wait. I'll go meet her. Liu Xin hurriedly cautioned, just don't say anything unnecessary. I tried, and President Wang is quite serious, a wonderful lady. Chen Xiao, observing Liu Xin's rather dim-witted expression, mused that he might have taken a liking to her. Arriving outside the hotel, Wang Lan and her group had yet to depart. Upon seeing Chen Xiao come out, they quickly greeted him in hushed tones, boss. Chen Xiao nodded, pointing to his temple, and remarked, one of my classmates suffers from a mental impairment. He has endured trauma here, so let us not hold it against him. Wang Lan realized with clarity, reflecting on the kindness of her boss, who even took in a classmate with such challenges. I apologize, boss. I was unaware of his circumstances. Chen Xiao sighed, saying, his foolishness is quite a burden for me as well. I fear the company may not comprehend. Wang Lan reassured him, it's all right, boss. I shall explain the situation to our colleagues. After all, who would engage in a dispute with someone so impaired? Chen Zhao's eyes brightened. This was indeed a promising idea. Chapter 256, Who Am I? After conversing with Wang Lan for a few more moments, Chen Xiao and the others took a taxi back to their dormitory. The company had secured another round of financing amounting to 5 million, and everyone, except for Chen Xiao, was exuberantly excited. Not long ago, they had been mere students, never imagining that a single meal or project initiated by Chen Xiao would lead them to such heights. The capricious nature of life and the unpredictability of fate were on full display. With this investment, their food delivery service could expand beyond Jining University, targeting a far wider market. If everything proceeded smoothly, the prospects for growth were simply unfathomable. Hey Xiaozi, why the long face? We're on the brink of success. Liu Xin exclaimed. Chen Xiao offered a slight smile. What joy is there in premature celebration? This is merely the angel round of investment. If we falter, we risk immediate closure and the loss of any future rounds. Liu Xin's expression turned serious, That's impossible. I will return and work tirelessly. I refuse to believe we cannot succeed. Anyone who dares to obstruct our company's progress will face my wrath. Chen Xiao chuckled inwardly, pleased by this determination. Wu Ling also grew solemn. Indeed, it's like walking 100 miles. We must remember our original intentions and tread carefully, lest we stumble in the darkness before dawn. Shen Jianqing agreed. Yes, Sister Ling is right. Lu Xi mocked. You're such a sycophant. Shen Jianqing retorted, scram. Changgu, possessing a more reserved demeanor, was diligent in his work. While the others engaged in playful banter, he simply smiled along. The spirited group of young men and women wandered freely through the campus under the night sky. Passers-by would never imagine that these seemingly eccentric classmates would one day achieve remarkable success. Upon returning to the dormitory, Chang'e just finished washing up and climbed into bed when Li Jian, lying opposite him, inquired, Chang'e, did you all go out for dinner today? Chang'e was taken aback. He had always invited Li Jian to join them. To avoid any misunderstanding, he clarified, oh, today was not a private gathering. It was a dinner with the leaders of the investment firm. Oh, leaders from the investment firm? Is there another new investment? Chang'e nodded, yes. It's the Angel Round, 5 million. 5 million. Li Jian's voice betrayed a hint of disbelief. That figure was astonishing for a student whose monthly living expenses barely reached 1,000 yuan. Li Jian felt a pang of regret. He had once been presented with an opportunity, but having doubted Chen Zhao's plan for success, he had let it slip away. Now, contemplating rejoining, he sighed, alas. Perhaps it's best to get some rest. In the dormitory, silence gradually descended. Chang'e lay on his bed, gazing at the ceiling, unable to suppress his reflections. Sometimes, one's fate hinges on a single choice, altering the course of a lifetime. The following day, several shareholders, brimming with energy, rushed to the company before dawn to place their takeout orders. By the time Chen Xiao awoke, the dormitory was left with only the soundly sleeping Xiao Ji, who resembled a lifeless pig. As he casually picked up his phone, Chen Zhao's eyes sparkled with delight. Today's hidden information revealed yet another surprise. From September 28th to October 8th, the domestic steel industry experienced a cumulative decline of 15, followed by a cumulative rise of 25 from October 9th to October 31st. Incredible. This wave of industry fluctuation, with its initial drop followed by a surge, was exhilarating. How much capital could be infused into this prolonged market trend? The mere thought sent Chen Zhao's excitement soaring. He promptly picked up the phone. Hello? Su Tang, initiate a short position on the steel industry. Borrow all the steel stocks from every brokerage across the nation and sell them. Given that most brokerages held limited balances, the available steel stocks should be minimal. Su Tang's spirits lifted. Understood, boss. Chen Xiao quickly tidied up and descended with Sherdun to catch a ride to the company. As for Sherdun, he hardly attended classes. His homeroom teacher knew of his existence, but had never actually seen him. Today marked the class of the strictest professor in their major. A session even Xiao Ji dared not skip, while Chen Xiao was the lone exception. Previously, some students had challenged this, but the teacher's retort silenced them. If you can resolve the part-time job issues for over 100 impoverished students in the school, then you need not attend class. Consequently, no one dared to speak up again. The difficulties of entrepreneurship were evident, as demonstrated by the once envied wealthy student, Shi Tong, who had managed to solve merely 5 employment issues, none of which pertained to campus jobs. The grim outcome was well known. It was said he no longer attended classes and was now washing dishes in a restaurant. As the first lesson concluded, a tall and striking girl appeared at the classroom door, inquiring if anyone knew Ji Yuzhing. Coincidentally, Li Jian stepped out and encountered her. Hello, classmate. Do you know Ji Yuzhing? Li Jian was taken aback. Ah, he's in our class. What's the matter? The girl's face brightened. Oh, wonderful. Could you please deliver this to Ji Yuzhing? Just tell him I'm waiting for him. Li Jian accepted the small box. Sure, what's your name? The girl smiled sweetly. I'm Zhao Xiaohong. All right, thank you. No need for thanks. With that, Zhao Xiaohong turned and left, while Li Jian returned to the classroom. Xiao Ji, there's a beautiful girl outside who asked me to give you this. She said she's waiting for you. Xiao Ji was taken aback. A beauty? Who? Zhao Xiaohong. Huh? Zhao Xiaohong? I don't know her. Li Jian replied. Regardless, it's for you. I brought it back. It's up to you to see. Xiao Ji, holding the small box, pondered, wondering if it could possibly be a bomb. With great caution, he opened it to find a card inside. Upon examining it, he saw neighboring hotel, room 308. What? What does this mean? Wait for me. A beauty? After contemplating for a moment, Xiao Ji tucked the card into his pocket and sought out Li Jian. Li Jian. Was she really a beauty? Indeed, what's the matter? Just how beautiful could she be? Li Jian. It's probably similar to Li Wenli, right? Wow, is she really that beautiful? Damn, are you seriously asking me about the romantic troubles you brought upon yourself? Ahem, just asking casually. After saying that, Xiao Ji returned to the classroom, his right hand idly playing with a card in his pocket. A beauty? Wait for me. His mind was already filled with certain images, to the extent that he didn't catch a single word of what the teacher was saying. After a long wait until class was dismissed, Xiao Ji resolved to seize the opportunity. How could he consider himself a man if he didn't check out such an exhilarating affair? He first returned to his dormitory to tidy himself up, spritzed on some perfume, donned his most expensive outfit, and with a racing heart, headed towards the hotel. Upon arriving at room 308, Xiao Ji took a deep breath, swiped his room card, and the door opened smoothly. Inside, a woman in a delicate nightgown lay languidly on the bed, her back facing the entrance. Xiao Ji's eyes widened in astonishment. Hearing the door open, the woman coyly exclaimed, "Brother, you finally decided to meet me. I missed you so much." Xiao Ji trembled all over, feeling as if he had been electrocuted. This was overwhelmingly thrilling. "You? Who are you?" The woman suddenly turned around, her expression shifting from coyness to shock. "I am Ji Yuzheng. You called for me." Xiao Ji replied, bewildered. Zhao Xiaohong retorted, "No, you are not Ji Yuzheng." "Ji Yuzheng what? Who the hell am I then?" Chapter 257. I couldn't hold back any longer. Zhao Xiaohong covered her chest with one hand, trying to prevent any accidental exposure. "How would I know who you are? In any case, you're not Ji Yuzheng." Ji Yuzheng was at a loss for words. Had he truly lost himself after entering this room? "I am who I am. I am Ji Yuzheng. You called for me." Zhao Xiaohong shouted angrily. "I called for Ji Yuzheng, not you. Get out." Xiao Ji exclaimed, "I truly am Ji Yuzheng." Zhao Xiaohong yelled, "Are you leaving or not?" Xiao Ji, already not the sharpest tool in the shed, felt his temper flare. "Why should I leave? Not leaving, huh? Someone, help! I'm being assaulted." It suddenly dawned on Xiao Ji that this might be a setup. Zhao Xiaohong's screams echoed far and wide as she lunged at Ji Yuzheng, scratching and kicking, causing Xiao Ji to retreat in fright. Damn it, this woman has gone mad. After a chaotic struggle, Xiao Ji finally pushed Zhao Xiaohong away and bolted out the door in a panic. Once outside the hotel, the sun's rays hit him, making him feel unbearably hot. His face bore several scratches that burned painfully. Damn it, what bad luck. Cursing under his breath, Xiao Ji returned to school in a daze. In the office of Tongxiao Capital, Chen Xiao had just left the trading room when he received a call from Zhao Xiaohong. Since the beginning of the semester, this woman had frequently called him for various reasons, but Chen Xiao had ignored her calls until now. With some free time today, and after a moment's hesitation, he decided to answer. "Hello, what do you want?" Zhao Xiaohong, evidently surprised that her call had connected, paused for a moment before replying. "Who are you?" Chen Xiao, ahem. "I am Ji Yuzheng. Aren't you Zhao Xiaohong?" "Fraud. I visited your school and met Ji Yuzheng, but you are certainly not Ji Yuzheng. Who are you?" Chen Xiao was a loss for words. This woman had actually sought him out. "Where are you?" Zhao Xiaohong inquired. "I'm at the hotel," she replied. Chen Xiao pondered for a moment and said, "Give me the address, and I will send someone to pick you up." Zhao Xiaohong hesitated, then responded, "Oh, all right." The anger that had initially consumed her dissipated inexplicably at Chen Xiao's few words. After hanging up, Chen Xiao arranged for someone to bring her to a new hotel. Meanwhile, he contemplated how to handle this woman who had been so easily subdued. After some reflection, he decided it would be best to meet in person. Chen Xiao grabbed his phone and descended to his car. Upon arriving at a nearby, five-star hotel, he found Zhao Xiaohong waiting in the room. The moment she saw Chen Xiao enter, she sprang to her feet, seemingly having forgotten her earlier displeasure. With a flirtatious tone, she exclaimed, "You're here? I missed you." "Wait a moment." Chen Xiao interjected. "Do you even know my name?" Zhao Xiaohong bit her lip and admitted, I don't know. Now tell me, why did you seek me out?" Zhao Xiaohong lowered her head and said, "I'm sorry, it was my fault." "Oh, how so?" Chen Xiao retorted. "I shouldn't have lost my temper with you." "It's all right," Chen Xiao replied. "After all, I took away something you held dear, so your anger is justified." No, Zhao Xiaohong shook her head. "It shouldn't be that way. If you are willing, I have already made amends, just like the first time." Chen Xiao thought to himself, this is absurd. He then pushed Zhao Xiaohong, who was wearing a very short pleated skirt, away from him. "Stand properly and listen to what I have to say." Zhao Xiaohong obediently stood to the side. Chen Xiao lit a cigarette, took a deep drag, and said, "You have two choices. First, we can part ways and never see each other again." Zhao Xiaohong immediately replied, "I choose the second one." Chen Xiao was taken aback. You didn't even let me finish before choosing the second option? Zhao Xiaohong nodded eagerly. Very well, Chen Xiao continued. I will provide you with 200,000 each year. But you must sign a promissory note and adhere to my terms. This money will be a gift to you, but if you violate the agreement, you must return it with interest. Zhao Xiaohong's eyes brightened. Whether it was Xing Yanqing or the false Ji Yuzheng, what she truly desired was this. Money, the vivid red bills. Say the word, and I will agree. Chen Xiao scoffed inwardly, recognizing her as a woman who would even swindle a beggar, clearly valuing wealth above all else. Yet, those with glaring flaws are often easier to control. It is those without flaws that pose the greatest threat. From now on, you cannot have any male friends, cannot date, and certainly cannot marry. Can you comply? Zhao Xiaohong's eyes widened in disbelief. You want to marry me? Chen Xiao laughed derisively. What are you thinking? Who do you think I am? Would I marry you? Zhao Xiaohong's eyes glistened with unshed tears, her lips pressed together, too afraid to respond. Chen Xiao showed no mercy. The money he offered was merely a means to prevent the woman he had used from entangling with others. In a previous life, he had married Zhao Xiaohong, only for it to end in ruin. This was her debt to him, one she would need to repay throughout her lifetime. Zhao Xiaohong wiped the corners of her eyes, feeling satisfied, yet insisted. However, 200,000 is insufficient. I demand 500,000 annually. Chen Xiao was taken aback, then chuckled. This woman, even with tears streaming down her face, was still reaching out for money. Well, you may ask for whatever amount you wish, but do not forget to uphold our agreement. This money is meant for you. Should you default, it would be wise to repay it in advance. Otherwise, you should be well aware of the consequences. If your imagination falls short, you might find inspiration by observing Xing Yanqing. Zhao Xiaohong was startled. He was not one to elaborate, but there would be others who would interact with him. This was how it would be. Having said that, Chen Xiao exited the hotel, accompanied by his bodyguard. Seated on the bed, Zhao Xiaohong intertwined her hands, perplexed as to why Chen Xiao would treat her in such a manner. Was it merely because she had scolded him a few times after that night? What she did not realize was that her life had already been irrevocably altered since Chen Xiao's arrival. Her entanglements with Xing Yanqing and Shi Zhongfu would cease, propelling her down an entirely different path. She might no longer become a venomous woman. Yet, regardless of others' opinions or thoughts, Chen Xiao could not shake the knot in his heart. For now, he decided to let time settle everything. On his way back, Chen Xiao remained silent. With Zhao Xiaohong behind him, he had essentially severed ties with his past life. Moving forward, he would live solely for the present. Upon reaching the dormitory, Xiao Ji was still engrossed in his computer, offering no greeting upon Chen Xiao's return. Chen Xiao found it curious. What was wrong with him today? Had he given up smoking? What is going on with you? Xiao Ji then turned around, irritated. Damn it. Today I encountered a lunatic who wanted to book a room with me. I stood before her, and she claimed I wasn't Ji Yuzheng, and, in her frenzy, she even scratched me. What a crazy woman. Chen Xiao chuckled. Noticing Chen Xiao struggling to suppress his laughter, Xiao Ji huffed. Dude, I'm in this state, and you still have the heart to laugh? Chen Xiao maintained a serious demeanor while retrieving 2 packs of cigarettes from the cabinet, handing them to Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji's eyes lit up. Whoa, brother Xiao, what is this? Chen Xiao waved his hand. It's nothing. Take the cigarettes. I simply couldn't hold back. The delivery service had officially begun expanding to other universities. With funding secured and some operational experience gained, the delivery team was preparing for a significant expansion throughout the entire university town. They were currently engaged in preliminary preparations, reaching out to nearby merchants, recruiting riders, and establishing connections with various campus officials. Unlike its initial phase, when the delivery service lacked even a website and had to rely solely on verbal pitches to restaurant owners, most of whom were skeptical, the service had now gained a solid reputation at Jining University. With a foundation of goodwill established, recruiting merchants had become far simpler. Riders were no longer a concern. The lucrative income of part-time delivery workers at Jining University had already spread to several neighboring campuses, largely due to many local beauties being charmed away by these generous and financially robust delivery personnel. A typical student living on a modest budget of 1,000 yuan per month finds themselves overshadowed economically by peers earning 3,000 to 4,000 yuan. These fortunate individuals can afford to present flowers, treat others to meals, and indulge in occasional romantic gestures. Consequently, the job of food delivery has become a coveted opportunity for students aspiring to improve their financial circumstances. Upon hearing of the food delivery service's expansion, students rushed to the university's employment center, eager to join. It would not be an exaggeration to describe the rapid growth of this service as unstoppable. The company has evolved beyond mere profit motives, intertwining the interests of many with its own. As the saying goes, he who wins the hearts of the people wins the world. Any school that dares to obstruct the food delivery service's entry will face overwhelming backlash from its own students. This swiftly advancing enterprise has captured the attention of countless individuals, though not including Chun Xiao, who views the current scale of the food delivery service as insignificant. Should Chen Xiao choose to invest, he could effortlessly replicate the service numerous times. Perhaps once it is widely adopted, perceptive individuals will recognize the immense potential within the delivery industry. However, by that time, the market will have been thoroughly divided, making entry exceedingly challenging. Presently, apart from the established services and platforms, there are no formidable competitors making strategic moves. The progress of Tung Xiao Capital Securities lending is not particularly promising. Domestic brokerage firms have indeed proven to have limited resources. In recent days, they have only managed to borrow over 8 billion yuan worth of stocks from 46 steel enterprises, all of which were sold at a premium immediately. They intend to wait until October 8th, when prices drop, to repurchase the stocks at a lower cost and return them to the broker, profiting from the price difference. Boss, if we continue with securities lending, it may attract significant attention, Su Tang remarked. After all, the easy opportunities have already been exhausted. What remains will require more effort, inevitably drawing the notice of competitors and those with ulterior motives. Chun Xiao pondered for a moment and replied, "We should continue our operations, if we don't stir the waters. How will we know if there are any lurking giants beneath the calm surface?" Su Tang suddenly understood. "Are you referring to the individuals behind Shi Zhongfu?" Chun Xiao nodded. "If we make a significant move, I believe Mr. Wang will not remain passive." "All right, I understand. Go ahead." There are many restrictions on short selling, such as difficulties in securities lending, but going long is a different matter altogether. The true focal point of Chun Xiao's strategy lies in the market trends following October 9th. With a profit margin of 25, he aims to secure at least 20 for himself. Chun Xiao is in dire need of funds, as many projects require financial backing, including the upcoming real estate company and various other ventures. Lin Yanran, noticing Chun Xiao engrossed in his calculations at the table, chose not to disturb him. Instead, she quietly adjusted the air conditioning to a comfortable temperature and settled down nearby with a book, turning the pages with utmost care to avoid making any noise. Unexpectedly, the ringing of a phone jolted Lin Yanran from her focus. Chun Xiao glanced aside and was surprised to find that the call was from Zhang Enki. Hello, senior. Am I disturbing you?" "No, not at all. What is the matter?" After a moment's hesitation, Zhang Enki replied, "Do you have time recently?" "I do have time. Why do you ask?" "Oh, it's just that tomorrow is the finals of the Happy Female Voice competition. Would you be able to come to the venue to cheer for me?" Zhang Enki had made considerable contributions regarding Shi Zhongfu, though she was unaware of it. Chun Xiao, wanting to offer her some clandestine assistance as a reward, thought it fortuitous that tomorrow was the last day of September. He had initially planned to visit Lijiang to see Sun Ying during the National Day holiday. The event was being held in Baisha, so he could conveniently stop there first before heading to Lijiang. "Sure, I will be there tomorrow." Zhang Enki was instantly elated. "Thank you, senior. I will book the plane ticket for you right away." "No need for that. I have other matters with friends, so you don't have to worry about the arrangements." "Huh? That seems rather inappropriate." "It's fine. See you tomorrow." With that, Chun Xiao ended the call. From the incident with the 5 watermelons, Zhang Enki had already sensed her senior's affluent background. If he didn't require a ticket, then so be it. She would find another way to repay him later. Chun Xiao stretched and went to the window. "Yanran, please arrange my itinerary to Baisha for tomorrow." "Oh, sure. Are you going to watch Happy Female Voice?" "I would like to go as well." Chun Xiao was speechless. "You stay at home. After Baisha, I still need to go to Lijiang to find that senior who once crawled under my desk. Do you want to join?" At the mention of the desk incident, Lin Yanran's face flushed red. It was the most embarrassing moment of her life. "Oh, then I want to go." Chun Xiao chuckled and dialed Zhang Meng. Although he hadn't had time to hang out with him recently, Xiong Chao and the others often spent time together. They were all aware of Chun Xiao's acquisition of Binhui Yuan and his lending of several billion to Jin Ning. Besides marveling at his strength, they were deeply impressed by his loyalty, truly deserving of being called brothers who had faced life and death together. "Hello, Xiaogo, what is the command?" His tone was lighthearted and slightly teasing. Chun Xiao smiled. "There is no command. I need to go to Baisha, and it's troublesome to transport a vehicle there. so I might as well procure a batch locally. Zhang Ming replied, Are you speaking a human language? Xiao Gu, do you need a lackey to carry your bags? Lately, I've inexplicably taken a liking to being a bag carrier. Chen Xiao was exasperated. Stop joking around. Can you help me arrange something serious? Zhang Ming straightened up. Of course. What kind of vehicle do you need? Chen Xiao pondered for a moment. How about an off-road vehicle? How does a Mercedes-Benz G55 sound? Chen Xiao raised an eyebrow. Big? How many are available? Zhang Ming was speechless. Is this something you order in bulk? Five vehicles. All right, I'll take all of them. Have them delivered to the airport tomorrow without delay. Zhang Ming said, Xiao Ge, do you realize the G55 costs over 2 million each? I know. I will have the finance department transfer the money to you right away. Zhang Ming suddenly realized the implications of this conversation. Before the affluent, were second-generation heirs, merely insignificant figures. This time, as Chen Xiao traveled to Baisha, he was accompanied by numerous personnel, making it impossible to accommodate everyone in first class. The rest had to settle for economy. This situation only intensified Chen Xiao's desire for a private jet. Once this wave of market fluctuations subsides, it will be time to consider acquiring one for personal use. After all, he will not only be traveling nationwide, but may also find himself journeying abroad to explore international opportunities. As Chen Xiao prepared for his journey, Li Wenli and Shi Yunru learned of his departure and each meticulously packed 2 large suitcases of clothing for him. With so many accompanying him, he decided to take everything along. During this pivotal expansion phase for the food delivery service, the team, including Wu Ling and others, opted to work overtime during the holidays, offering employees triple pay to exchange money for time. For Xiao Ji, the National Day holiday was no different from any other day. He remained in the dormitory, engrossed in video games. The only distinction was that more friends were available to join him in play. The campus buzzed with a jubilant atmosphere, as freshmen finally shed their camouflage uniforms to embark on a vibrant collegiate life. Many of the female students, previously concealed beneath their uniforms during military training, began to radiate their beauty. The campus forum became lively, brimming with discussions about beauty contests and various gossip topics, springing forth like mushrooms after rain. However, without a doubt, the undisputed campus belle of this freshman class was Zheng Enki, not only for her stunning looks, but also for her star-like presence, solidifying her status as the new goddess representative. Yet, none of this mattered to Chen Xiao, for he had already boarded the plane to Baisha. Of the 8 seats in first class, all but one had been reserved by Lin Yanran. The remaining 16 bodyguards were seated in economy class. The flight attendants were somewhat bewildered by the unusual situation, having never encountered a young man traveling with 6 impeccably dressed, imposing figures. These giants wore sunglasses, obscuring their gazes as they surveyed their surroundings, while the young man remained composed, casually reclining with his legs crossed and engrossed in his phone. The flight attendants felt a surge of nervousness, serving with heightened caution. Sir, may I offer you a drink? We have. No. Thank you, Chen Xiao replied, looking up with a charming smile that revealed a set of pristine white teeth. The flight attendant momentarily lost her composure, her eyes sparkling with surprise at the striking handsomeness of this young man. Years of athleticism had endowed Chen Xiao with particularly chiseled features, and combined with the confidence that came from his immense wealth, he was nearly irresistible to young women. Only the seasoned flight attendants, accustomed to the presence of affluent individuals, managed to maintain their composure, though they struggled to suppress their racing hearts. Very well, sir. Should you need anything, please do not hesitate to call. Okay. Chen Xiao glanced at the time on his phone and noted that it was already time for takeoff. Yet, the plane had yet to depart. The flight attendant explained, Oh, it's due to air traffic control. We may need to wait a little longer, but we will be taking off shortly. Chen Xiao nodded in understanding, returning to his phone. Approximately 15 minutes later, after the last passenger in first class settled in, the aircraft began its taxiing. Chen Xiao furrowed his brow in frustration. What a nuisance. It turns out they were just waiting for someone. Although displeased, he refrained from voicing his thoughts, switched off his phone, and adjusted himself into a comfortable position to prepare for sleep. Before long, the flight attendant instructed everyone to fasten their seatbelts, explained the use of emergency equipment, and reminded passengers to turn off their phones. Frequent flyers had already made their preparations well in advance, while first-time travelers listened attentively and complied. Only the last passenger to board disregarded any announcements and nonchalantly engaged in a phone call. Chen Xiao turned his head slightly to observe a young girl, heavily made up with long, flamboyantly painted nails. The flight attendant approached her gently, advising, Miss, the plane is about to take off. for safety reasons. Please turn off your phone. The girl, visibly irritated, retorted, Get lost. Do you have any idea who I am? This call is crucial. If it disrupts my important matters, I will have you fired. The flight attendant was momentarily taken aback, rendered speechless. Chen Xiao grimaced internally, thinking, who does she think she is? Even if I were worth hundreds of billions, I wouldn't flaunt it like that. He glanced again and felt a sense of familiarity. Wait, have I seen her before? The girl disdainfully looked Chen Xiao up and down, frowning. What are you staring at? Never seen a celebrity before? At that moment, Chen Xiao recalled. She was Li Mengyuan, the champion of the Happy Female Voice competition, to be precise, the national champion from his previous life. She was now still a top contestant, gearing up for the championship battle. Chen Xiao thought to himself, don't think that just because you're a talent show champion, or even a diva, you can act so arrogantly in front of me. He found her unworthy of further conversation. Unbuckling his seatbelt, he stood and walked directly to Li Mengyuan, snatched her phone from her hand, and hurled it to the floor, crushing it beneath his foot. The entire process was leisurely, as if he were merely handling his own phone. Li Mengyuan's eyes widened in shock. Do you know who I am? Chen Xiao scoffed. Even if you were a superstar, you cannot make calls on a plane. With that, he turned and returned his seat. Li Mengyuan, accustomed to being pampered, was taken aback by such indignity and was about to rise. But in an instant, two burly men stepped in front of her, coldly stating, Miss, I advise you not to disturb our boss. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee what unfavorable actions may ensue. Seeing the situation, Li Mengyuan swallowed her words. Her assistants were in economy class, and she did not wish to delay the flight or jeopardize her chances at the championship. So she huffed and sat back down, thinking, just wait. What are you trying to prove? The bodyguard smirked slightly, but said nothing as they returned to their seats. As for the crushed phone, the flight attendant took care of it. Li Mengyuan remained silent, and Chen Xiao did not mention any compensation. At last, tranquility enveloped the first-class cabin. Chen Xiao paid her no mind and immersed himself in a magazine, occasionally emitting sounds of approval. At first glance, the cover seems to hint at some Victoria's Secret or perhaps something equally enigmatic. This secret is indeed profound. Just then, a flight attendant approached and asked, Sir, would you like a blanket? Chen Xiao closed the magazine and noted that the air conditioning was a bit chilly. Yes, please. I'll rest shortly. The flight attendant smiled sweetly, draping the blanket over him, and whispered, Thank you for your kindness. Chen Xiao waved his hand dismissively, responding, It's no trouble. However, if you can act better than I can, then that poses a problem. After 2 hours of flight, they finally landed at Huanghua International Airport. As the plane came to a halt, Li Mengyuan was about to rise when the aisle was already congested with bodyguards clad in black. Frustrated, she stomped her foot, yet felt powerless. Chen Xiao stood up, smoothed out the wrinkles in his clothing, and sauntered towards the cabin door. Upon seeing him, the flight attendant smiled and nodded, bidding him farewell sweetly. Only after the first-class passengers had disembarked did it become the turn of those in economy class. Once outside the airport, Chen Xiao lit a cigarette, puffing away as he awaited the bodyguards from economy class to join him. At last, Li Mengyuan seized her chance, deliberately passing by Chen Xiao, disdainfully muttering, Waiting for a taxi? It's quite difficult to catch one here. With that, she arrogantly climbed into a nearby Mercedes-Benz 300. Chen Xiao glanced at the 5 Mercedes-Benz 55s beside him and tossed away his cigarette. But, Chapter 260, who could possibly hold more sway than he? Surrounded by 5 brand-new vehicles, a few individuals were snapping photographs, while others, unhurried, paused to observe. In the back seat of the 300, Li Mengyuan awaited her assistant and noticed the 5 luxurious cars nearby, her mouth agape in surprise. The combined worth of those 5 was over 10 million, beyond the reach of ordinary individuals. At that moment, the economy-class passengers began to emerge. Mengyuan, why can't I reach your phone? Lou's been calling me. Oh, don't even mention it. I'm so infuriated. I encountered a complete fool on the plane who broke my phone. Just then, the thunderous roar of an 8-cylinder engine filled the air. Li Mengyuan turned to see the previously parked vehicle approaching. Lowering the window revealed the face she least wanted to see. Chen Xiao, seated in the back, one arm casually resting on the door, looking down and asking, So, how do you find the taxis I flagged down? Li Mengyuan, noticing her own flustered expression, prompted Chen Xiao to burst into laughter as he closed the window and drove away. The 5 Mercedes-Benz 55s, powered by their robust engines, surged forward like a fleet of sleek black arrows racing down the airport expressway. Their commanding presence rivaled that of any sports car, instantly becoming a striking sight on the highway, even garnering attention and sparking discussions on automotive forums. Of course, Chun Xiao remained blissfully unaware of all this. He relaxed in the spacious back seat, enjoying music while admiring the urban scenery of Baisha. In terms of interior design, the meticulous craftsmanship of the Mercedes was commendable, particularly in the high-end models, which exuded an air of elegance and sophistication. Luxury infused with poise, fashion complemented by stability. Whether for business elites or leisure connoisseurs, this experience is suitable for all, provided one's wallet is sufficiently robust. Zheng Yanqi reserved a room for Chun Xiao at a five-star hotel adjacent to the television station, which he considered quite a prestigious choice. However, she was unaware that Chun Xiao was accompanied by a considerable entourage. Upon arriving at the hotel reception, Chun Xiao promptly upgraded his accommodation from a luxurious king-sized room priced at $388 to a presidential suite worth $888, with 21 bodyguards, all impeccably dressed in suits. Only Sherdun and Chun Xiao donned casual attire. Sherdun was indeed curious about suits, but found it difficult to procure one in his size. Chun Xiao intended to arrange for a tailor to craft several bespoke suits for him when time permitted. That evening, after finishing her singing practice, Zheng Yanqi awaited Chun Xiao at the hotel. Downstairs, she noticed a group of suit-clad individuals trailing behind him, feeling oddly familiar. Upon reflection, they resembled the group from school who typically wore casual clothing. Given their appearance, they certainly resembled bodyguards. Zheng Yanqi felt somewhat at a loss. Did you perhaps reserve too few rooms, senior? Chun Xiao smiled and reassured her. No worries, I've handled it. Also, keep matters outside of school separate from your school life. Do you understand? Zheng Yanqi nodded obediently. Oh, understood. Chun Xiao's words confirmed her suspicions. These individuals were indeed bodyguards. A person who travels with a team of over 20 bodyguards could hardly be an ordinary student. Zheng Yanqi felt an increasing sense of unfamiliarity with her senior, but it was not an unpleasant sensation. Rather, it was imbued with excitement and anticipation. Is there anything fun to do? Chun Xiao inquired. Zheng Yanqi pondered for a moment. The pedestrian street is quite enjoyable, though I'm unsure if it meets your tastes. Chun Xiao replied, what could possibly be unsuitable? If it pleases others, it shall please me as well. Let us go. Upon arriving outside the hotel, Zheng Yanqi initially assumed the 5 luxurious vehicles belonged to wealthy patrons of the hotel. However, when a bodyguard opened the rear door of one of them, she realized they were all Chun Xiao's extravagant rides, each worth millions, accompanied by more than 20 bodyguards. Her senior was indeed a super-rich heir, yet he remained remarkably low-key and humble. Inside the vehicle, Chun Xiao and Zheng Yanqi sat side by side. The city's neon lights illuminated the opulent interior, enhancing its exquisite charm, an ambience that many industry luminaries in the entertainment world could only dream of. Unbeknownst to Zheng Yanqi, these vehicles were merely whims of Chun Xiao's. Purchased on a whim without much consideration, as casual as grocery shopping. He often accompanied Shi Yunru to the market to select fresh produce, whereas buying a car was a matter of simply placing an order without inspection. The pedestrian street of this city, renowned for its abundance of beautiful women and delectable cuisine, was celebrated nationwide. The two strolled like a couple, savoring delicacies such as stinky tofu featured on television and the renowned specialty snacks at Huagongdian. For Chun Xiao, who was experiencing these delights for the first time, everything was a revelation. Unbeknownst to them, the bond between Zheng Yanqi and Chun Xiao was subtly drawing closer. This city, repeatedly awarded for its high levels of happiness, boasted a vibrant nightlife. At midnight, Chun Xiao had indulged himself sufficiently, having dined and shopped to his heart's content. It was said that the nightlife here was just commencing. Rather than venturing into a bar, he opted to return to the hotel for rest. As Zheng Yanqi was to participate in the finals the following day and required a good night's sleep, the two were staying at the same hotel, and the atmosphere in the car on their way back was somewhat tranquil. Zheng Yanqi's hands were entwined nervously, while they had laughed and chatted during their shopping spree. The intimacy of the current setting made them both cautious. A slight smile tugged at the corners of Chun Xiao's mouth. He believed that if he were to confess his feelings to Zheng Yanqi at this moment, she would likely not refuse. However, that would imply the development of a conventional romantic relationship, and Chun Xiao was destined to never belong solely to any woman. Thus, he refrained from speaking. Upon reaching the hotel lobby, Chun Xiao remarked, "Rest well and perform admirably tomorrow." "Oh, senior, you should also take care of yourself," she replied. "Yes, see you tomorrow." With that, he ascended to the presidential suite with his subordinates. Zhang Enki watched the elegant figure fade from view, feeling a sense of relief mixed with a tinge of melancholy. After pausing for a moment, she slung her small bag over her shoulder and made her way to her own room. At midnight, Zhang Enki lay in bed, cradling her darkened phone, tossing and turning. She contemplated sending Chen Xiao a message, but hesitated, uncertain of its appropriateness. The words she typed were deleted repeatedly, and ultimately, she sent nothing at all. She sensed that the gap between her and her senior was widening with each passing moment of understanding. Having been a favored child of fortune since childhood, it was unexpected for Zhang Enki to experience self-doubt. Sigh, I must strive harder. I must secure the championship. She silently encouraged herself. The following day, at the television station, after escorting Zhang Enki to the backstage entrance, Chen Xiao prepared to head to the audience seats. As he turned, he spotted the woman he had encountered on the plane. Li Mengyuan also noticed him, startled momentarily, wondering if this privileged individual had some connection to the television station. However, recalling her own backstage connections eased her worries. Her godfather was the primary financier of the event, the Panhai Entertainment Group, and who could hold more sway than he? Chapter 261. Is Zhang Enki's family here? Li Mengyuan shot Chen Xiao a disdainful glance before striding directly into the makeup room. Chen Xiao was at a loss for words. This woman certainly held a grudge. As the competition was about to commence, Chen Xiao wished to ascertain Li Mengyuan's true abilities. Arriving at the entrance of the performance hall, he found it peculiar that staff members were collecting phones, strictly prohibiting the entry of any electronic devices capable of recording. Since this was a pre-recorded program, they feared premature leaks during post-production. Chen Xiao, adapting to local customs, placed his phone into a numbered bag and handed it to the staff. The ticket Zhang Enki provided him was for a front-row seat. The majority of the audience consisted of young people, fervently discussing the day's competition and passionately debating over their favorite contestants. Soon, the program commenced, and the mentors took their places, one of whom was a musician, an esteemed folk singer whom Chen Xiao greatly admired. Having withdrawn from the music scene for several years, she is now making a triumphant return. The mentors are all luminaries of the industry, and the atmosphere in the venue is instantly electrified. The audience enthusiastically calls out the names of their favorite mentors, waving their glow sticks. As the mentors take their places and the host steps onto the stage, the excitement gradually settles into a hush. Following this, there is a warm-up segment and introductions of the contestants, during which several minor mishaps occur, but they can be edited and re-recorded. Compared to the polished presentation on television, the live experience feels somewhat unrefined and stumbles along. Yet at last, the first contestant makes her entrance. The moment the singer appears, Chen Xiao is convinced she will secure second place. Despite having made only a modest ripple in the current music scene, her name remains widely recognized. So Chen Xiao has some recollection of her. Hello everyone, I am Jiang Tong, and I present to you Snail. It must be said, Jiang Tong is indeed strikingly beautiful. With a sultry figure, large eyes, a prominent nose, and full, soft lips, she embodies the type that can ignite a man's inner flame at first glance. Her voice is distinctive, wild, yet melodious. However, in comparison, Chen Xiao still prefers the singing of Zhang Enqi. Upon finishing her performance, the audience awards her a score of 95, placing her in the lead. The second contestant, who Chen Xiao vaguely remembers, sings in a style that does not particularly appeal to her, yet performs adequately enough to likely secure fourth place. Next comes Zhang Enqi, the campus star famously dubbed the girl next door, whose popularity is immense. Her entrance is met with applause that surpasses that of Jiang Tong. Zhang Enqi scans the front row, spots Chen Xiao, and gives her a sweet smile, playfully winking before launching into her song. In Chen Xiao's opinion, Zhang Enqi's vocals surpass those of Jiang Tong. Her sweet and enchanting voice fills the venue, offering a delightful listening experience that is thoroughly enjoyable. In nearly every regard, she slightly outshines Jiang Tong, yet for reasons unknown, she only receives a third-place score of 94. Unperturbed, Zhang Enqi waves to Chen Xiao and exits the stage. The final contestant is Li Mengyuan, the national champion of this year's Happy Girls. Chen Xiao eagerly anticipates witnessing the performance of this brazen singer. Li Mengyuan's popularity is peculiar. A small group of fans cheers fervently, while the majority remains notably indifferent. Amused, Chen Xiao thinks this must have been paid for. Soon, the singing begins, and Chen Xiao can only remark that it sounds somewhat professional. But when compared to Zhang Enqi and Jiang Tong, or even the fourth-place singer, it pales in comparison. How could this be a winning performance? The audience exchanges bewildered glances. When it comes time for the mentors to score, only Chun Zhao's favorite male mentor, Gu Shu, gives the lowest score of 5, while the others award 10s. This situation causes an uproar in the venue. At that moment, the host steps back in, pausing the cameras. With a strained smile, he approaches Gu Shu and says, "Teacher Gu, didn't we agree on this?" The ancient tree raised both hands in surrender, expressing resignation. Yet who could have anticipated that her singing would be so dissonant? "I cannot award a perfect score. I shall return your money later." The host, Chen Xiao, sat in the front row, rendered speechless, likely able to discern the cacophony. He glanced around awkwardly, feeling a sense of urgency. "Teacher Gu, this is a requirement from the investors. Once the sound engineer adjusts the audio, the show's quality will undoubtedly improve. There will be no issues. Nonetheless." Teacher Gu shook her head, steadfast in her convictions, asserting that she would only continue as a mentor if the situation changed. The two engaged in a heated dispute while the audience, bewildered, speculated on the unfolding drama. Chen Xiao grew increasingly exasperated. Was this the state of a program under his own banner? He was aware of the clandestine norms within the industry, but never anticipated the depths of such corruption. Their argument prolonged for several minutes before the host, with a grim expression, returned to the stage. He gestured to the camera, and his face instantly transformed into a smile. "Now, let us invite the audience to score Li Mengyuan." What followed was astonishing. Li Mengyuan inexplicably received a staggering score of 97. Chun Xiao couldn't fathom who had cast such votes, as none of the numerous individuals around him had supported her. Yet, the scoring device miraculously registered a score of 97. What on earth? Who cast that score? Did you? For what reason? I certainly would not have given her such a rating. This reeks of conspiracy. Even if there was foul play, they dared not speak of it, having all signed confidentiality agreements prior to entry. The host disregarded the murmurs from the audience. After all, the program would undergo post-production, and any discordant voices would be erased. All right, I hereby announce that Li Mengyuan, with a score of 97, has won the title of 2010 Happy Female Voice Champion. Bang! Before he could finish his sentence, a bottle of mineral water exploded beside him, startling him. "How dare you? Are you treating us like fools?" Chun Xiao erupted in fury. He could no longer tolerate the situation. It seemed that Teacher Gu's dissent was being bypassed, and the host intended to forcibly crown Li Mengyuan as the champion. The audience erupted in a frenzy, rallying behind Chun Xiao. The host scowled, pointing at Chun Xiao and shouting, "Who the hell are you? Security! Security!" However, Chun Xiao's bodyguards prevented any security personnel from approaching. Chun Xiao rose, striding confidently onto the stage. The host panicked. "What do you intend to do?" Chun Xiao seized the microphone from his hand. "Today's recording is void. We shall re-record tomorrow." Instantly, silence enveloped the room. Spectators pondered who this imposing figure was, so audacious as to voice their suppressed indignation. They began to chant in unison. "Re-record! Re-record!" The host, his face ashen, pointed at Chun Xiao, exclaiming, "Who are you to declare a re-recording?" Chun Xiao smirked. "You will soon discover my identity." The host glanced at his seating number, and realization dawned upon him. "Ah, you're a relative of Zhang Enki, are you not? Do you believe I will revoke her qualification?" Chapter 262. Turning the tide, Chun Xiao experienced a slight toothache, yet he endured the discomfort and inquired, "How is it that you, as a host, possess such remarkable prowess?" He aimed to gain a comprehensive understanding of the Panhai Entertainment Group through this interaction. Before the host could respond, Gu Shu, holding the microphone, interjected, "Young man, hosts, directors, and production teams are all backed by the investors, which is why they command such respect." Chun Xiao was taken aback, and then cheerfully greeted Gu Shu, saying, "Guga, could you kindly give me an autograph later? I am indeed your fan." Gu Shu smiled and replied, "Given your courage today, let us take a photo together and share a meal this evening." Chun Xiao gestured affirmatively, sealing their agreement. The host, observing their engrossed conversation, felt a surge of frustration. Zhang Enki, hurry over here and take your family away." Zhang Enki rushed out, her face filled with urgency, and immediately apologized. I'm so sorry. Then she pulled Chun Xiao aside, saying, "Senior, perhaps we should just let it go." Chun Xiao patted her hand reassuringly. "Rest assured, today's championship is undoubtedly yours. No one can take it from you." Zhang Enki appeared somewhat dazed, realizing that her senior was bravely standing against the entire production team on her behalf. After a prolonged silence, Li Mengyuan finally erupted, pointing at Chen Xiao and scolding, "Don't think that just because you have a little money, you can act recklessly. This is not a place for your antics. Be wise and step down, or I will make you regret it." Chen Xiao turned to face her, retorting, "Oh, really? I'm quite curious to see how you plan to make me regret it. I've always been handsome enough as it is." The audience observed as the host disregarded the decorum expected of him. After all, the 100 spectators present lacked any recording devices, and a third of them were affiliated with him. Rolling up his sleeves, the host approached Chen Xiao with palpable hostility. Realizing that a physical confrontation was imminent, Chen Xiao swiftly dodged, delivering a swift blow to the host's face, causing him to bleed profusely from his nose and mouth. "Ah!" the host cried out, collapsing to the ground in a daze. What had initially been a talent show had devolved into a chaotic brawl. Security personnel could only watch anxiously from a distance, tightly restrained by the Black Shield security team, while a few overzealous individuals lay incapacitated on the ground. Li Mingyuan, witnessing the unfolding chaos, pointed at Chen Xiao and declared, "You're finished. With a single phone call, Zhang Enki will never set foot in the entertainment industry again." Chen Xiao chuckled, "Oh, you must be acquainted with the leaders of Panhai Entertainment, right? How fortuitous, for I am also acquainted with them. Let us see who holds the more influential connections." Li Mingyuan was taken aback, realizing the source of his arrogance stemmed from knowing individuals of significance. However, with her own godfather's influence, she mused, could his connections surpass her own? Just you wait. With that, she seized her phone from her assistant and dialed. "Hello, Godfather. I'm recording a show and being disrupted by a contestant named Zhang Enki." "Oh, isn't there any security present?" Lu Wenjun from Panhai Entertainment inquired. Li Mingyuan scoffed. "There are too many of them. They've overpowered the security." Lu Wenjun was momentarily taken aback, astonished that such a brazen contestant existed. Li Mingyuan continued, "Moreover, he mentioned that he is acquainted with the leaders of the Panhai Entertainment Group," rather audaciously. Upon hearing this, Lu Wenjun felt assured. As the head of the Panhai Entertainment Group, he deduced that anyone the other party knew, aside from himself, must be a subordinate. "Could you inquire about who he knows?" "Oh, certainly," Li Mingyuan replied, her expression brimming with confidence. "Hey, who is it that you know?" Chen Xiao smiled. "The person I know is called Su Tang." "Hello, Godfather. He claims to know someone named Su Tang." Lu Wenjun furrowed his brow. The name was somewhat familiar, yet he couldn't immediately recall who it was. It seemed that none of the primary leaders in the various departments of the group bore that name. Could it be a minor leader from one of the subsidiaries? All right then, since this has already become a commotion, let's arrange for a separate performance hall to showcase your winning segment another day. As for that Zhang Enki, I will make a call to disqualify her from the competition." Li Mingyuan instantly beamed with joy. "Thank you, Godfather." After hanging up, she turned to Chen Xiao and Zhang Enki, saying, "If they choose not to record today, so be it. Zhang Enki, you could have secured third place and a promising future, but this person beside you has ruined it." Zhang Enki glared angrily. "What do you have to be proud of, relying on your godfather's connections?" "Senior, let's go," Chen Xiao said as he pulled Zhang Enki along. "Wait a moment. She said they won't record? Hand me that phone." A nearby bodyguard promptly returned Chen Xiao's phone, and upon hearing this, he immediately dialed. "Hello." Transition the ongoing recording of Happy Female Voice by Panhai Entertainment into a live broadcast and restart it. After speaking, he hung up the phone. Li Mingyuan was momentarily stunned, then burst into laughter. "Huh. Zhang Enki, where did you find this oddball? A live broadcast, truly laughable." The host, lying on the ground, couldn't help but chuckle. Such ignorance was amusing. The audience sensed Chen Zhao's arrogance, while the mentors shook their heads in disbelief, unable to fathom that he could convert the program into a live broadcast. Zhang Enki subtly tugged at Chen Zhao's sleeve. "Senior, perhaps we should leave." Chen Xiao turned, a slight smile gracing his lips. "You go backstage and prepare to sing again shortly." Although Zhang Enki doubted that the program would actually switch to a live format, her senior had publicly declared it, and failing to comply would tarnish his reputation. "Oh, all right," she replied, heading backstage. Shortly after, a group of people burst through the door, including staff from the backstage, directors, producers, and leaders from the television station. "Quick, quick! All departments, adjust immediately for the finals to proceed in live broadcast format." In an instant,